What's going on, guys? Welcome into this week's episode of Smart Money Sundays. Hope you all had a great weekend and are excited as usual to get back into the swing of things. I'm sorry I sound a little weird. My allergies are acting up that time of year. But nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and start off with our usual pair, Euro USD. And remember, I talked about last week the 8-hour candle being that first kind of focal point, that POI. For continuations long alongside our existing uptrend. Now, we have gotten that reaction, right? We did trade right into the zone as expected, but we're really just more or less consolidating, right? We're just kind of chopping around. We're not seeing that strong, firm reaction back up to the upside. And so that kind of leads me to believe that we could potentially be in for some sort of A into B into C retracement situation, as in A, B, C, to trade further into our kind of last point of return, right? Our last higher low that produced our last higher high, right? And so I very much so think that that is a possibility. And should we trade lower into this level, this significant area of discount, I certainly will be interested in looking for accumulation for long opportunities. And so I'm really just kind of looking at the 2-hour here, this last little down close before the expansion began. All right, and that brings us in and around 1.086, 1.085 as that kind of bullish POI at zone. All right, so that's kind of my expectations on EU. I'm not viewing this as a high in the market. All right, I do think that's going to absolutely get taken out. We'll likely trade up into 1.11 as that overall higher time frame bullish objective. All right, so the next would be GBP USD, and similar situation here, guys. The same level from last week that I talked about, I believe, is still valid, right? That 30-minute. All right, this random pause in the market, 30-minute down close, boom, the expansion commences. Right, we create that new higher high. All right, when price traded lower, we didn't trade into that 30-minute, we just ran higher. All right, and so I'm viewing this as now a potential draw on liquidity as well as this low for when price makes that sell to buy type of move. Right, very similar to kind of what my expectations would be for Euro USD. Right, I want to see further discount into that kind of last point of return where we did have a nice run on liquidity, right, and sell to buy here. All right, so that brings us in around 1.2320, 1.2325 as that POI. That remains the same from last week. Now, AUD USD is a little bit different, guys. We talked about this. AUD and NZD typically kind of more so do their own thing when it comes to the majors. All right, and so we did talk about this POI last week, right? The up close, the liquidity run, buy to sell, with the understanding that we do still have those flat lows, those relative equal lows, which I personally am not viewing as a bottom in the market. I'm viewing this bullish price action as very much so corrective. Right, and so with that being the case, the fact that we ran higher up into our POI from last week, right, and we had that buy to sell to close out the week, break of structure lower, change of character, whatever you want to call it, I do think this looks pretty good. Right now for this demand, you have that reaction, right, reaction, flip, right, so I think if we can get up into here, trickle on up, this might be a pretty solid area of intraday premium to look for those continuations lower, targeting old lows. All right, so that's the expectation there on AUD USD. Obviously very similar with NU. USD CAD, all right, this is one that on the higher time frame, recall, I do still think we can trade into our objective, our POI, at 1.321, right, beneath these equal lows. Right, coming into this previous area of demand, the down close potentially deeper even into 1.3050 as that downside objective, right, to then look for higher time frame longs back up to the upside. But until then, I am still looking for excuses to sell USD CAD in alignment with dollar weakness. And so I think a couple of things could happen. This could simply just be a wick liquidity run, and then price dies from here after taking the buy side liquidity. The buy stops resting above this high, right? And so time will tell on this, right? If we really kind of railroad and start to formulate bearish structure, that would be a very good sign. Otherwise, I do still think that this is a potential valid level. All right, if this liquidity isn't enough for price to make one more run on the highs into 1.363, and then we'll be looking for that sell-off back down into the lows. All right, so that's that flip zone here, 1.363 is the POI. USD Swiss franc, very similar to what I'm expecting on Euro USD with an ABC type of move. I am expecting kind of an ABC here on Swissy. All right, so ABC, trade up into our supply, our up close, which I like on the 6-hour time frame. Right, 6-hour up close, buy to sell, new low. All right, want to get back up into premium. It's not going to happen immediately. We're always going to retrace, run lower, and then build that buy side liquidity to get run out as price trades into our true area of supply. Right, so that brings us in and around 0.9050 as the round number, or we're looking for continuations to the downside on USD Swiss franc. USD JPY, the level from last week, is very much so still valid in my opinion. It's the 45-minute flip zone. Right, we have supply. All right, price trades into it, had that slight reaction, price busts through. Right, and so it's a matter of getting back down into this flip zone for mitigation. Right, nice equilibrium discounted price for that overall continuation into 136. Right, our flip zone on the 4-hour time frame. All right, so just want to see one quick run lower, right, and then another expansion to the upside into this area of supply as our objective, where we can then look for potentially distribution for higher time frame shorting opportunities. All right, GBP Swiss franc, I believe, is one I also gave out last Sunday on Smart Money Sundays. I can't remember the time frame, 8-hour time frame, right? A simple continuation right off of the up close volume here. And if you scaled in, you could have obviously caught a really clean, tight entry with or stop loss, right? If you took it off of the 2-hour up close, could have had a very tight stop loss, high risk to reward. So just wanted to point that one out. Congratulations if you caught it. I know a lot of people in our group certainly caught this beautiful little layup opportunity here on GBP Swiss franc. So just wanted to highlight that. I am expecting further downside. The Swiss franc is extremely strong at the moment. All right, now AUD CAD unfortunately did bust through our supply here that we were looking at last week. Right, we ran into it and reaccumulated, ran higher. All right, and this is kind of doesn't come to my surprise since we ran out our old low here. Right, we met that objective, ran out the low, and then boom, we switched to a different objective, a different liquidity objective, and obviously that was to take buy side liquidity. So I do think, we could very well be in for a higher time frame retracement on this one. Right, could be viewing this as one singular higher time frame expansion for a pullback and then another expansion. Right, and that certainly would be kind of a steep pullback, but I like the 30-minute up close in terms of the POI. Right, this was never mitigated, never accounted for, that last area of supply. Right, buy to sell. Right, but we could very easily trade all the way back up into that threshold, into that price point before seeing reversals back to the downside on AUD CAD. All right, so potentially in for kind of some higher time frame retracements at the moment. We'll just have to see what price action brings us come London session, New York session tomorrow. Maybe we'll see another opportunity for a counter trend buying opportunity, right? Supply, reaccumulation, flip, create a new higher high. So could we retrace into this area, 9000, and continue? Certainly a possibility. So we'll have to keep that one on our radar for time and price. All right, and NZD CAD, of course, called out this level as well. Beautiful area of supply. Have run out lower time frame lows here, so you should have taken partials and you should be break even, especially since we could potentially see further upside on AUD CAD. Then naturally NZD CAD will somewhat follow suit. So make sure you're protecting your position here, holding a runner into our previous low, but taking the majority of your position off and moving that stop loss to break even as protection. GBP CAD is running higher. Ultimately, expected that price would be taking out these flat highs, right? And that looks like exactly what we're running for right now, to seek out the buy side liquidity resting above those highs. And I think once we run through these highs as a liquidity objective, the focus will switch and flip very quickly to sell side liquidity objectives, i.e. equal lows here. All right, but until then, until we take out this high, I think if price retraces, we can look to buy pullbacks, right? And the natural level from last week for continuations, in my opinion, would be this area here at 6795, down close candle, area of demand. Get that retracement, easy intraday continuation up into our buy side liquidity objective. All right, so that's what I'm looking at on GCAD. Just wanted to highlight NZD Swiss franc as well. It's another one that I gave out last week on Smart Money Sundays. Beautiful, beautiful wick entry, right? You can see how price ran up into it first. You can't chase it, guys. Got to trust your levels, right? This is the true up close, this is the true level. So we run it again, right up into it. Perfect mitigation, perfect entry, beautiful risk to reward. Currently floating around about 5.5 R, right? But all in all, expecting a 1 to 6.5, 1 to 7 out of this one. So just wanted to highlight that. Congratulations if you caught it. We're always dropping free value, free setups for you guys, giving you that good outlook every single week. All right, we're not always right? We're not perfect, we're not gods, but we certainly do provide gratuitous value for everybody on these episodes. All right, GBP AUD is the last one I was going to talk about today. Overall, this one is still bullish, right? Higher low, higher high. I do still want to see price get into our area of demand. Our last little pause in the market, down close continuation, right? We do have equal lows here, so I do expect that price is going to run out those equal lows while simultaneously mitigating our area of demand. Right, so we are trading into a bit of a flip zone at the moment, so we very well could see price open and then die into our level. And there could be, further shorting opportunities along the way, right? But this was the level to be playing off of. If you were, should be already in this position on half risk. But I certainly will be looking for that lower time frame buy to sell come London session tomorrow. All right, and we'll see what happens with that one. But I certainly do like the buying opportunity from the area of demand at the same time. All right, so let's just keep this one on our radar as well. It's looking pretty good. All right, so that wraps it up for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, please be sure to give us a like, comment, subscribe, etc. We're dropping these videos every single week, every single Sunday, giving you that kind of broader outlook and narrative as to what to expect for the week ahead. So really enjoy doing these for you guys. We also appreciate your love. All right, so if you are interested in learning how we do this analysis and getting into our mentorship or our courses or our prop firm automation service, where we're passing prop firm challenges for our students, just send us a message on Telegram at Ariel FX Trading, and we'd be happy to jump on a quick call with you and discuss what solution might be best for you. All right, have a great week, guys, and we'll talk again next Sunday. Thanks.